we're going to be joined by Ms. Brittany Bowyer. She's from the Plug Sports Connection, and we're going to talk about a certain recent transfer to the Arizona State University basketball program. Now, a little bit of backstory on this guy, Vince. 2010 at Phoenix Christian, my wife Tara was named the assistant athletic director there, and one of her responsibilities was to oversee the gym rentals that organizations and other schools that didn't have a football field and all that. So they would come in and rent the facilities of Phoenix Christian, and then we would hang out there while they, were doing their event and just make sure everything was good, and then close up when they were done and go home. Well, one of the organizations was the Arizona Future basketball program, and that was coached by Holland Woods Sr., who was a former Harlem Globetrotter, and his son was on the team, nicknamed Boo Boo, and he was now at Portland State and has recently transferred to Arizona State. And when I saw him play as a kid, and I mean, he was probably 8, maybe 9 years old. You know how you can just see someone play and you say, you know what, that kid can ball.
They used to say that about me.
Well, they still do in certain circles, Vince.
They do, yeah.
Exactly. Out on the pickleball court, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're joined here by Miss Brittany Bowyer. Brittany, are you with us? Good morning,
Hello, Brittany.
Brittany's going on 2 hours of sleep now. I'm gonna go ahead and call her out on it early here.
Yeah. Well, those mornings I was like, I can't fall asleep. I sit here and I just think of things I wanted, that I could do in my head, or things I could be thinking about. Last night I was thinking about Pat's run, how today would be the day of the event, and I'm not going to be able to participate with everybody, but I'm planning to go out after I'm done on the phone with this conversation and do my 4.2 miles myself. So, just a lot of things going on in my head, even though there's no.
Now, are you going to do the full 4.2, or I've kind of regressed just a little bit? I realized that there was a kid's version. It's a .42, and I talked to my son during one of the breaks. He said we could probably pull that one off today, so we might try to get that one in here sometime today. But we're going to do something for the Pats run because it's a fantastic cause. But what do you know about Holland Boo Boo Woods, and what is he going to bring to the Arizona State University basketball program?
Well, Holland Woods, ASU is getting a really, really great student athlete in that transfer. Like you had talked about before, he's a local kid to Arizona, went to Apollo High School. His dad was his coach with an AAU team here locally. So a lot of people in the local basketball scene are really aware of Holland Woods and what he brings to the table. And he's somebody who is a very dynamic player. So he's 6'1", he's a guard from, he went to Portland State out of high school. His freshman year in the Big Sky Conference, 2017-2018, he was the freshman player of the year. He last year in his junior season, he was shooting 17.7 points per game was his average, 5.2 assists. He's putting up numbers. He shoots 41% from the field. He's a really, really talented player, and he wouldn't have offers to or interest from Gonzaga, New Mexico, Oregon State, in this transfer portal if he wasn't a talented player. Places like Gonzaga aren't going to be interested. Oregon State's not going to be interested if he's not somebody who has that level of competitive nature, and he just doesn't have what it takes, to play at that, a major Power 5 conference school. But he does. He has what it takes. He's a very, very strong kid. And, I also want to point out, he only got to play at Portland State for 3 years, but it can't be missed that he leads the school with 521 assists and 165 steals. And he's also fifth in all-time scoring history there, and that's only in 3 seasons. So, think about how much he did for that program. And when he comes to play with I don't want to say Portland State's talent isn't there, but if you think about what Arizona State is going to have, when he comes to play with these athletes that Arizona State's going to have in place, it's going to be astronomical what he's able to accomplish.
Now, Brittany, this guy this guy's the real deal. How is he going to fit in with what ASU has coming back for next season? I mean, how and also, granted, he's a local guy too, so he's going to draw a little bit of a following. But what will this do to Bobby Hurley's team?
Well, so here's the thing. So last I had heard he was looking to reclassify, but at this point he was not going to be eligible for this following season. So at this point in time, he would have to redshirt and be benched for his this upcoming year. He wouldn't be able to play until the 2020. Well, I guess it'd be 2021-2022 school year. And at that point in time, I'm not really sure what the roster would look like because it could be completely different, but you would have to think that at that point in time, he would have a little bit of experience playing with whoever is on there coming over from the last year over into where he's going to be that senior person. If he doesn't reclassify, he stays as somebody who has to redshirt next year, sit on the bench. You have to think he's probably going to be a central part of the team, somebody who's really going to be a team leader in that 2021-2022 season.
Now, every once in a while, Brittany, there's an athlete that comes along like a Holland Woods that you see, you say, you know what, this guy is going to go far in the game. Another athlete that comes to mind immediately, just recently actually, is Leo Dashbach out at Highland High School in Gilbert. That kid is amazing. And I guarantee you, we're going to see him in the Olympics. It's like there's absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. Do you think we'll see Holland Boo Boo Woods in the NBA one day?
You know what? I could see it. I definitely could see it, but I think it's going to depend on what he does after he comes back. If he has to ride the bench for a year, because if he decides after that year with Arizona State he wants to enter the draft, I think he would have a much higher chance playing in a Power 5 conference, getting a little bit more experience, or I don't want to say experience, but exposure, especially if it were to be a year like Arizona State had this past year, where they went on an absolute tear. You know, they won however many games in a row. What was it, 7 or 8 games in a row at some point in the season? You know, they were really in a great place to do well in the Pac-12 tournament, and unfortunately things didn't come to fruition. But if it were to be another season like that, where he's playing and he's the leader of the team, I don't see why he wouldn't go on to have a NBA career and be somebody where he's from the local scene and he can come back. And, you know, you have Richard Jefferson, who just went to school up the street from Apollo, 20 years earlier, but he went to Moon Valley High School and he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers when they won the championship, and he's brought the trophy back to the school and showed it to the kids and helped motivate them. And I could see Holland Woods being somebody who emulates that in the future and does that for kids at Apollo High School and trying to influence them to stick with their sports dreams.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here this morning, Brittany. We really appreciate it. Tell the folks where they can find you on social media and tell them about the Plug Sports Connection as well.
You can find me personally on social media, Twitter at bboyer07, or you can find me at the Plug Sports Connection. That's my business that I have created. It's essentially a platform that I want to use to give up-and-coming journalists a place to host their work where there's going to be more eyes that get drawn to it, rather than if they were to just put the work on their own YouTube or their own Twitter site and kind of just try to share it on their own. The hope is that it can get spread to more people can see their content, and then they can use that in their portfolio when they're going to apply for a job to say, hey, my site or my work is listed on this site. Go ahead and check it out. It's seen by this many people and it generates these clicks. So if you're interested in the Plug Sports Connection, you can find that on Twitter at the Plug Sports _. And we're also on Facebook as well.
I've seen you do a lot of work out there, and it is all about journalists helping other journalists. But you've been with helping out with Sun Devil Worldwide, Juan Roque's live stream that you partnered up with him on. You've reported for Pac-12 Network. I mean, you are just the consummate pro, and you're out there doing so much with so much outreach that we appreciate you coming on and spending time with us. And any way that we can help promote what you're doing, is great, because you're in it for all the right reasons, and hopefully you continue to do that.
I really appreciate you having me on, and it means a lot.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for joining us, Brittany. We'll talk to you again very shortly.
Thank you so much. Have
Vince,
a great afternoon.
You too. Another great show, my friends.
Another
Best
show,
ever.
James.
How about it? Okay, now what?
Now what? Well, we got 2 minutes left, so what are we going to do?
Hey, we got something coming up next week, my friend.
Let's
go ahead and talk about that really quick. We got the last minute or so here.
Something big. I don't know. How much can we
spill? We're bringing something back. We're bringing something back that was quite popular from what I understand. Yes. And judging from the response from us reaching out to certain Arizona high school football coaches, another teaser, it's going to be just as popular, if not more popular again. So we're going to have a live show next Friday night, and we're going to announce what we're doing. So this coming Friday night, stay tuned on our JV Sports Show YouTube channel. Just look us up on YouTube, JV Sports Show, and you'll find some more little teasers about it during the week on Twitter as well.
And it's not straying too far from what we've already done. we'll say that's a little hint. You know, it's something we've already kind of sort of been doing, but then some. We're turning it up a notch, and
Just
I can't
a
wait.
day or so off, maybe. I don't know, Vince. Day or so
Yeah,
off,
maybe. Good stuff. And thank you so much for tuning in today, ladies and gentlemen. We had with us Joe Healy, owner of College Bar and Grill in Tempe, who's also on the committee of Pat's Run, talking about Pat's Run, virtual run today. Get out there and do your 4.2. We had with us Mark Houston, the founder and JV Sports Show partner, Let It Fly Football Drills and Skills Camp. This camp coming
We
up
were
May,
also
June,
joined
and
by
July.
Mary Lou Jennings from Phoenix Children's Hospital and Brittany Bowyer from the Plug Sports Connection, talking about Holland Boo Boo Woods coming to the Sun Devil basketball team. Everybody have a great week. Stay home, stay healthy, and we will talk to you very soon. Don't forget, next Friday night, YouTube Live.
Go.